Discussion is now on the amendment. On the amendment.
On the amendment.
I have a cue. Is it specifically on the amendment, Councilmember Kubash?
My question
On the
concerning the amendment is, will it, if you put that amendment and it passes, will the deed, once it's changed, will it affect the closing tomorrow?
I don't. May I state my question, Mayor?
I'm gonna keep the cue going because other council members indicated that they had a specific question. I guess the question is whether it is legally possible to put that item in before we vote today. Councilmember Bradford.
Thank you, Mayor. On the particular amendment brought by Councilmember Laster, I simply want to weigh in and say that I think that the amendment is very much so needed. There's no reason for us to move forward with an avenue open for litigation. I think what Mr. Feldman is saying is certainly accurate, but you have to cut through all of the other agreements and deals and what they mean to get to a determination that there is a prohibition. So I think that it's a shrewd thing to do, to put specific language in the deal that prohibits the conveyance. So I'm going to ask my colleagues to support language. And my question to Mr. Feldman concerning this language, if in fact this particular amendment passes, what happens from an agreement standpoint if the council were to do this? It goes back to the other parties. This is absolutely caused uproar in the chamber, I think.
No, we think the amendment it may be immaterial, and we have no objections to because it is immaterial. However, we're trying to see if we can physically get it done.
Temporary recess.
Yes, sir. We can accommodate the amendment.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilmember Stardick. On the amendment.
With regard to the amendment, I was looking for maybe an opportunity to
So are they gonna do the
to
conveyance?
recess.
Prohibition
Perhaps,
of the conveyance?
because I think that, I think this is very serious. I think this is an important decision, and I would like to move forward with it.
Wonder how
However,
this is
we
first
need
gonna
to,
take
I
that.
think there's a lot of emotion that's been evoked in the last half hour or so. And I think it would be wise, but that's just my opinion, if at all possible, and that's not specific to the amendment, but that's timing of the amendment.
Councilmember, if you're making a motion, you need to make the motion, otherwise I will move on.
I'll make the motion, we will take a recess.
Why take a
10
recess?
minutes, 5 minutes, what do you want?
I would like to take an hour.
An
hour?
15,
Shit,
15.
bitch.
15, something to calm, something to 15. 10, I'll negotiate. Y'all hear 20, no. 10.
All right,
Something.
Councilmember has made a motion for a 10-minute recess, and Councilmember Kubash has seconded that motion. Do we need discussion on that motion? Moving to a vote on that motion, favoring, opposed?
No.
We will vote on,
Y'all can just let it.
I think the motion failed, but unless there's a motion.
It failed.
Okay. Councilmember Pennington, you had
Thank you, Mayor. If this is typical project financing, there would be a lien on the property. That's my question. If there's a lien on the property, then there can't be a prohibition against a conveyance if there's a foreclosure. So is there no lien? There's no lien.
No,
Okay.
and the mayor, having the amended deed brought over.
Thank you.
further comments on the proposed amendment?
Yes.
Councilmember Bradford?
If there's a lien, Mr. Feldman, why are we conveying it?
There's no lien.
Thank you.
Councilmember Latcher.
I'll repeat the question. If there's no necessity of a lien on the property, why do we have to convey the dirt for the purposes of the loan?
It is to give Houston First the flexibility to use the property as security, for example, with respect to bonded indebtedness.
So let's walk that back one half step. If there's no need to have the property for a lien, then there's no need to do this vote today because you're not going to hold up closing.
Now, it specifically contemplates that the conveyance will occur as a condition of closing.
Well, okay. Most closings have some sort of requirements that all the documents have to be done long-term in advance. I can't imagine that we've come down to the 11th hour and the closing will be set aside or could not be set aside. If there is a closing tomorrow, I would imagine that all the parties would certainly agree to some sort of reasonable extension of time as happens in any course of transaction or any kind of real estate transaction like this. But that being said, I would ask council members to vote for this amendment because it seems to me that that's the issue that we've come down to. Do we have any definitive assurance that the property will never ever be conveyed to any private sector operative? And I've offered that amendment for that specific level of assurance. I think if we get the amendment, we could probably move to a vote. So that's the reason I'm going to encourage the amendment be passed. Thank you, Mayor.
Any other discussion of the amendment? Moving to a vote on the amendment. Favoring? Opposed? Item carries.